out.
Hey, this is Price Action Live. We're going to trade the live futures open across multiple prop firms today. I've got myself and Trevor on the stream. Trevor, I know you recently opened a couple of accounts, right?
I did. So I have a couple Top Step accounts, a Take Profit Trader account, pretty much staying in the Top Step and Take Profit worlds until Apex has their sale again. I waited a little too long on Apex.
Yeah, the sales are always funny. I was able to pick up an Elite Trader funding account, which I added last night. And I think they also allow up to 10 if I read their documentation correctly. So that might be one that I continue to scale out on. So let's take a look. We got NQ moving right off the bat here from the open. I'm going to get ready to most likely open a short here. It looks like we're testing the bottom part of this regression trend on the 2-hour chart. And if we break this support here, I would expect we come down a little bit further. Do you have any analysis on your side there, Trev?
I mean, coming into the open, we've got Trump with EU tariffs, 35% supposedly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely waiting, waiting for a period of time where it potentially could be almost like a quadruple top sort of thing up here. Everyone expects us just to come magically back up to all-time highs again, but maybe this is the lower high that the bears are waiting for. Or maybe people don't care and we just bounce again.
That seems to be the case sometimes, where the market's like, meh, and just shrugs it off. But in this case, we are 3 candles in on the 1-minute chart, and we're still posting below VWAP. I'm starting to feel pretty good about at least getting a short started here, and then we can take a look at how that signal shows up in my dashboard. All right, so we got that order going. That should update here. There we go. All right, I have to keep this over here so you guys can see my live P&L. Trevor, are you able to pull up my account and share that signal that I just sent through?
Yeah.
Give people a sense of how I just traded across over 30 accounts.
Yes, sir.
And while we do that, I'm just going to explain what I'm doing here. So there's a couple of lines on the charts here that are anchored VWAP lines that I'm paying attention to. One was previously support, one was resistance. So I'm actually getting a little bit of counterintuitive signals here, but we are up against this resistance line, what I would consider a resistance zone, if you will. And it looks like we started to post below that. But if this market continues to push upward from the open, then that actually starts to serve as support. So I'm hoping that, at least for the purpose of this trade, we start to post below VWAP from here.
So this was the signal that you just sent. This is right? All accounts is the strategy.
All accounts is the strategy. You should see across 30-something accounts.
Yeah. So you can see 37 of 37. All the individual.
On my screen.
Is that me?
We're back on my chart. You have
I didn't do anything.
Shared.
I can't control anything. I'm just a guest on this.
I think you can switch the scene here. One sec. Here we go.
So yeah, so you can see all the individual entry prices for every single account. I think that's one of the most useful pieces of Traders Post as opposed to other trade mirroring services, is that you can see everything, and there's a log and a record, and you can see exactly how every single trade came in and if all your accounts took that. So, and you can click in and see. I know that
this is sort of a point of confusion for some people, that we don't really have like a parent and child relationship. Instead, you send one signal and it trades across all those accounts at the same time. In this case, you can see the M&Q U 2025, we sent a quantity of 2 contracts, and that's how it traded across most of the accounts. Do you see?
I was just going to ask. So this one is 3.
Yeah. So if you look at the settings on that one, you'll see that I set the signal multiplier to 1.5 on that.
1.5. Yep.
Yeah, so on many accounts, it's either a larger account size or I feel a little more comfortable being aggressive with it because I'm just so far into profit and my drawdown is
That's
so much
6.
greater. So if I have a lot more drawdown to work with, I'm willing to get a little more aggressive with my contract size.
Yeah. So the actual signal that came through that you sent was a quantity of 2, and depending on the account that you've set up with your subscriptions, this one is a quantity of 6 because the actual setting that you had set was a quantity multiplier of 3. That's awesome. The multiplier thing is so clutch.
Yep, I'm so glad we implemented that one. How did my slippage do across the accounts there?
It doesn't look like the most slippage was.
Or did I have any? It looks like I see green there. Did I have positive slippage?
The signal.
It'd be under the slippage insights.
Yeah. So you had
slippage.
Positive
So
slippage.
If you look at the results there, it's a little small on my screen here, but next to the entry price for each one of those rows is a little dollar figure. So it looks like on most of those accounts, I had either between 25 cents and $1 of positive slippage for my entry.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. We get a lot of comments around slippage on the platform, and more often than not, my slippage is usually 25 cents in the red, but I often see that I have positive slippage for my entries. And these are market orders. So it's really just a timing thing. By the time I get into my position, sometimes the price just goes up slightly and works in my favor because I'm on the short side. So still not quite ready to pull the plug on this trade. Very small risk is on the table at the moment, about $100 of risk across all the accounts, if not slightly more, depending on the account. But I'm still seeing obvious downside. We're not quite to the support zone I would hope for. I know we're at the bottom of the regression trend, but I'm expecting a little bit of travel further. If I'm wrong, I'll get ready to exit real quick here. And I have an exit line prepared. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it above the high candle for the day. That's the resistance line on the 2-hour chart. Let me get back on the chart here. So the trade definitely turned against us, which means we need to start thinking the opposite direction. So if that's support, then there's plenty of room for upside from here. But I gotta switch my bias real quick here.
So would you ever exit a trade from within the dashboard, or you always do it with line?
I do it with a line only because that allows me to get the live price, and it ensures that I'm always tracking slippage. If you do it from the dashboard, you'd have to enter the signal price
to get the slippage part.
To get the slippage data. Yep. Okay, so we went ahead and took a small loss there. About 300 on each account. So let's see if we can now take the other side of this trend. Shall we call that the orb breakout? Got some people in the chat here. Tom asks, I wonder if Mike will eventually trade every prop firm. Probably.
Yes.
There are 23 on our platform.
Probably.
Probably. I see what you did there. All right, so no go on the short. It looks like we're going to retrace just a little bit and maybe test VWAP to the upside, at which point I think I'm ready to reverse my whole bias and try to get long. That was definitely my mistake yesterday. I took a small loss yesterday, just continuing to attempt to find the short side, and it never played out. I found a few small areas to scalp and basically won back some of my loss, but I was down about 500 across most of the accounts. Well, there's a couple warning signals I want to keep an eye on here too. It was a little choppy right before the open. Now, those first two open candles on the 5-minute chart are a little clearer of a signal, but I am now starting to pay attention to the fact that we could actually push right back below VWAP again.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Tom's noticing it as well. We're smack dab in the middle of a range, no trade to reliably take. I would totally agree with you. I think I'm still ready to go long if we continue to push higher from here as we're above VWAP, and it would be an orb breakout. But I really want to see if we do pull back from here, if we're going to find support at VWAP.
Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip.
What I also find interesting is that this pullback here from peak, from the all-time high, down to this low, and this current retrace, this resistance line, this R2 line that I have on my chart here, is basically lined right up with the 0618 retrace, a fib retrace on the 2-hour chart. So if this is the overall move, it's basically going to be an extension to the downside. Let's measure the extension. Here's our high, here's our low, and let's say we even pull up a little bit higher. That means we could be seeing a target price of roughly 22,150 on the NASDAQ. If we look at the daily chart, 22,150 happens to line up with, sorry, did I say 22 or 21? 22, yeah, 22,150 on the daily chart is roughly where this support zone is right here. So we could push a little bit further down from here, and it would make sense to me.
Do you want to show the show my screen again, and I'll show you what the exit looked like?
Oh, sure, yeah. And then you can show
it's anything you want to actually show off, but to see 37 of 37. Oh, you want on a buy. So this was 37 of 37 for the exit.
So we're going to give it a try again. We just went long 2 contracts. Let's see if we can take the other side of of what we think could be a trend from here, although I may just get chopped out once more, and this ends up being a little bit of a rough day. I think we all kind of agreed there's not much of a signal here. However, I really try to stay consistent with trading either side of VWAP, and that seems to work out pretty well for me. This could be one of those days, though, that continues to chop in and around VWAP for the remainder of the session and just frustrates the hell out of me. Those are just fantastic trading days. Mm. I say that very sarcastically. Yeah, we just can't get a break of trend here. So what do we have here, Trevor? We have the exit for each one. Did we have positive slippage on those two?
We did have positive slippage on all of them, and you can see the difference in P&Ls based on how many contracts you had entered.
Yep. And across the board, even if it's a Project X account, we're able to get the slippage data as well as the P&L data now. Project X made an improvement, I think about 3-4 weeks ago, where they give you back the average fill price of your orders, which makes it possible to get back the P&L data. We didn't have that before. You went blurry there, Trevor.
Yeah, I know. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What's going on?
Okay, so this trade is starting to form. We're now seeing a little bit stronger of a breakout from the orb, which means the thesis to the downside is probably over at this point. Let's keep an eye on this uptrend from here. Pull my exit line down. Pull this down. That's a nice green candle. I like that. All right, we got about a third of our loss back.
Nice.
So interesting. I definitely didn't feel a long coming today.
I mean, it's silly.
We're basically breaking past that 0618 line from here. Oh, we're about to hit it again. That's right. Okay, so 0618 is actually R2. So we've got a bit of room to go before we actually hit the 0618 on the 2-hour chart.
Open orders, subscribe accounts. That's so crazy. There's just so many.
I don't even keep track of it anymore. It's too many. I just try to trade. I think that's kind of the big thing about scaling accounts is I'm not looking at independent accounts anymore. What I want to do is wire it up, make sure that it's set up to follow the rules that are appropriate for that account. I do that the night before. And then when the market opens, I just worry about trading the lines here. I don't even want to focus on the accounts.
Yeah, I mean, the only the only thing that you're up against when it comes to the scaling the accounts is just the emotional, like,
Yeah.
It's like, if you can just not. I've always joked that I wish that I had a friend that just secretly hooked up my accounts, and you were like, "Hey man, I made $1,000, on a payout or whatever." I'm like,
yeah.
I hooked up 20. You actually made 20 grand. I'd be like, you bastard. Why did you do that?
It's I try, like I said, I think the threshold for me was probably around 10 accounts. The first 3, I probably felt a lot more concerned about managing all 3, and I was, a little more emotional about it. But as I started to grow that number, it just got to a point where I don't even think about it now. It's just, there's so many of them. I think I'm at 30. What am I at now? Oh, I guess it would be in my dashboard. 37. Yeah. 37 accounts. All right, this is great. So our long is starting to play out. We're starting to reverse out of some of that loss this morning. We got $100 left before I'm break even for the day. I think what I'm going to do from here is just watch how this trend continues to form. And, oh man, this is looking like, Google, I bet Tyler G's feeling real good right now. This is looking like one of his inversion plays.
We just needed more liquidity.
So we're almost to R2, which is that 0618 line. I'm curious if sellers are going to show right up here or show up right here at 23,420.
These are the type of just the price action that would just infuriate me as a newish trader. Just like, I would never get the gap and goes. I'd always get this one and, stop out or fake out or go short. It's just like, why can't you just go up all the time? Why do you have to dip down and grab all that liquidity? And I understand it now, but it's frustrating when you're just kind of like getting faked out all the time.
I mean, there's unquestionably a number of things that are frustrating about trading. You can do this for the next 20 years and still not get any better at it. It's not a skill game. It is it's a management game of technique. And at the end of the day, you have zero control over the outcome. The market can do anything.
I do think that my just day-to-day trading skills have improved since doing prop, because I've just taken so many trades. Like you would never be able to do that doing options or spending your own money. Obviously you blow accounts and blow evals, but just the sheer number of reps that I've been taking, I feel like you have to get to a point where you recognize chart patterns and you recognize like, oh man, this reminds me exactly like that one gap down and the thing. You're just used to how it's all played out before. 10 years later, you're like, oh, I've seen this playbook.
Okay, I'm going to try to average into this a little bit. I'm still expecting that this will remain positive, will remain bullish. I'm going to stick with that bias, and I'm going to bring one more order down just a little bit further, right above VWAP. It'll cause me to go a little bit into the red here, but I'm okay managing a little bit of risk from here for continued upside. I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't know why that would be our reversal point. Maybe. Could still be wrong, and I'll be ready to exit. I'll just have to manage the loss for the day. How we looking on the dashboard overall? You can see all the P&L for each account here. For the Project X accounts, we got to wait for P&L data to come through for open positions, and then we can actually show that on the dashboard icons.
My son's sitting here doing math worksheets. That's why I keep muting myself.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me that he's over there trading the markets as well.
I wish.
You put him away to top already?
I feel like that. I feel like he'd do well. When this is green and all those things are green, press this button.
Go long when you see 3 green candles. Go short when you see 3 red candles. Got it.
Flip over to the chart. Do you want to from the dashboard?
Say again?
Do you want to flip over to your chart versus just showing the dashboard?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
That's weird. I am not showing the dashboard. Hold on one second.
I just see the dashboard.
Oh, it's yours. It's your screen. One sec. Sorry about that, guys. Been working on this trade this whole time and you couldn't see it. So we still have, why is that still on? Turn off. We still have an upward regression trend. I'm still holding on to this trade. Still looking pretty good. We are 140 in profit across most of these accounts. We've dug out of the hole from our initial short, which now in retrospect, I didn't see a single candle that fully closed under VWAP. That's probably one clear violation of my rules, that I typically only take trades once I see a candle's complete body below or above VWAP. That means that it includes the wick needs to be above or below. That's the right way to say it.
That was a good average in. That never happens.
You know, I didn't catch that third trade though, so we're in by 6 on most accounts. 6 contracts long. I would have added 3 more if we came down just a little bit further, but buyer stepped in right there, so that's okay. I catch what I catch. All right, so we are in profit overall for the day now. You can see this across all the accounts. So let's see if we can push just a little bit higher up here to the R2 line that I'm expecting sellers to show up at.
Man, that was nice. Every time I've ever averaged in, always, it just comes back. And I'm like, my profit. No.
That happens to me a lot too. I think what I try to do is just continue to manage the risk. As long as I'm averaging in, I'm not risking more than 100 or 200 bucks on that trade. Sometimes a little bit more. I have a little bit of flexibility on that. And then once I'm averaged in, I just let it rip from here. It's a whole lot of sitting on your hands. This actually might be what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm. So. If this, yeah.
All right, we're back in the red again. Let's see if we can average into our third leg of the position. So we'll add 3 more contracts across most accounts. Although, no, I may not get that opportunity again. Looks like buyers are showing up. All right, strap in for the road trip from here. This is going to be a long drive to Yosemite. It's going to take us a while, about 6-hour drive in order to get to profit. Hope you guys are ready. If I hear anyone crying along the way, I will pull over and spank asses. Now you tell me, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom says dollars up. I would not be long.
He's secretly short.
Again, this is that question of how long would you not be long for? How long has the dollar been long, or how long will that trade actually start to surface? If you think dollar up right now, which it is, you're right, and I'm starting to see that reverse out for the day. Let's assume this is resistance on dollar, though. If dollar starts to plunge down from here, now suddenly that long looks good. Tom said, I said no trade today. You did say no trade. That is correct. But we are here as circus performers. We got to put on a show, which means I got to put on a trade. I got to dance. All right.
As long as you follow your rules.
I am following my rules. I think Tom's just going to be mad if I actually make money on this trade today, despite all the signals. Oh, Trevor, I see your comments here about the Project X parameters. Those appear to be relevant to the entry price, not to your take profit or stop loss. So the limit price, stop price, and trail price, you can basically trail your entry. So you could say take the current price, but trail by 50 percentage or 0.5% or by 50 points. And if that finally triggers, then enter my position.
Oh, through the API or just on the interface?
Either one. I don't know if it's on the interface or not, but many brokers allow you to trail your entry.
But as far as what this guy's talking about, doing brackets on Project X.
Yeah, I'm saying the documentation there is relevant to the... Oh, shit. That trade just turned around on me big time.
What just happened?
I don't know. I'm going to have to take a pretty big loss.
PMI? No, that was at 9:48, 10 a.m.
Okay, I got lucky there. I bought more because we had that buy order set. and then it exited everything. So I'm down 450 across the accounts for the day. That's one reason I trade micros is shit like that that just appears out of nowhere. What was the news there?
I don't see anything on Financial Juice. There's a gap on NQ.
Okay.
Top Step does that weird, like, market is closed, market is open. And it's like, what? And we'll fill the gap and right back up.
Okay, let's take a look at the impact there on that trade. Great, everything's closed out. We're good to go there. It looks like now buyers are stepping back in and trying to find support on VWAP. We only wicked into the red on that trade, and there was so much buy support there that fortunately that helped me eat up some of that loss.
Oh, non-manufacturing employment, non-manufacturing PMI.
I thought we had that data already. Hold on, let me double check.
No, that was today.
We have the ISM services PMI, and that came out at 8. And it looks like we came in a little lower than expected. So there is some data in PMI that is going to be related to inflation that it looks like the market just responded negatively to. Okay, so we kind of missed the structure of that trade. I did not see that coming. And this is the fun of markets from time to time.
I mean, it just gapped down like there was a gap, like a proper gap.
I don't see a gap. I definitely have price.
Oh, maybe just on Project X.
Yeah, that would mean Project X failed to deliver all the price data within that flash of price. And so
maybe it's just for MNQ as well because it's such low volume.
Could be. If you refresh the chart, I wonder if they have already reconciled the price data.
Nope, still a gap. That's funny.
Then they have a gap of data there. So it's not even a price gap. It's like they're missing pricing data for that window.
Mm-hmm. Oof, on the 15 second, it literally jumps down 74, 30 points.
Yeah, I'm curious if it was, oh man, yeah, look at that action on the 1 second chart. But then look how many buyers showed up literally 1 second later.
Yeah. $7. Do another one, maybe $4. Sorry, man, that was not ideal.
That was not ideal. And now we're starting to see, we're going back to the short side bias that I had this morning. I'm actually going to go back to thinking about this from the short side. If I see a close below VWAP here, I'm going to try to reconstruct my short. And I'll assume that that was as close as we're going to get to the 0618 retrace on the higher time frame. And we could just push down from here.
So what was that? I feel like your dollar open was like insanely green for a second. Like it was like, like, whoa. It was like when you said, holy shit, I looked at your P&L and it was like $500 profit open profit.
It wasn't though.
I know, but when this is over, watch that moment because it was like green, and I was like, oh, and then I looked at the chart, I was like, huh, and then it wasn't that, and it was closed, and it was over, and you only lost like $100 or something.
I can't imagine how, because we immediately were in the red when this candle dropped, and then I had bought at this point 3 more contracts. Maybe it's possible that right in here it was in the green for a second, and then we went back into the red again. Maybe, but it was like, oh, we're in the money, and then I looked and I was like, oh no, what? And then it was closed and it was over. And you only lost $100, so that's what's confusing about it. Yeah, well, it's true. We only lost $150 on that trade, making it roughly $450 across the accounts for the day. So let's see if we can pull out of this hole, and then I'll call it a day if we can't.
Yeah.
All right, one more try to the short side. Buyers stepping in right away. I love this question that I think about a lot from the book, The Best Loser Wins. Where would you add to your trade? Oftentimes people think about their risk from the perspective of being afraid to lose and like getting out too soon. But I always try to think about where I would add to my position as well. So again, we've closed below VWAP. I see a full candle below VWAP here. I would add to my position right here at this R1 line, or as we continue to break down. So I kind of like where we're at right now. I'm going to wait for this candle to close, but I'm going to place another order right above it. We got 7 seconds left. All right, pushing back up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add to it from here. Okay, one more. I'll add one more right above this candle here, right at the previous R1 line, expecting that sellers will continue to push us down from VWAP. And if I get chopped out one more time today, I think that's it for the day. Unfortunately, it's a little more loss than I would have liked. To Tom's point, dollar still going up. Dollar came down again.
Here it comes.
Okay, sellers, we want to see if we can confirm from VWAP to the downside, because I've taken a little more of a haircut today than I hoped. I'm going to have to prepare to get out real quickly here. Oof. Dollar's so choppy. NASDAQ's so choppy. This is going to be a tough one to trade this morning. VIX is up slightly. Dollar is up slightly. There we go. Okay.
You sold 3 times
for a second that I was going to have to go through that again. Okay. The downtrend continues. There's the sellers below VWAP. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle. And it'll give me a little more comfort that we're going to continue in this direction. That's nice. That's what I want to see. So we're right to about break even right here, where that green and red line are. So I want to see a nice, good push down from here, which there's plenty of room to the down. I'm expecting a big leap here down to the 23.2 level. Tom, you said 23.2 as well. Tom and I are always thinking alike. It's moments like these that are really tough for me. I try to just focus on the bias. I try not to focus on the candles too much. The trend is what helps. The regression trend is what helps me really identify if I'm in the right direction or not. And the strength of this downtrend is pretty high. We're at a 0.90 on this downtrend from the peak candle. But VWAP is our main guide. So we're still closed below VWAP. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles below VWAP now. So buyers will keep showing up. They'll keep doing things like this where you feel like you're in the red and it's really not in your direction. And the best I can do at this point is just wait to see how the sellers respond to VWAP and try not to get out too early. It may mean that I have to take a bigger loss today than I really want, but I really got to see how the market's going to respond. I'm willing to pay the price to see how the market's going to respond to this zone right here. And I'm going to have to pay a pretty big price for it.
You did 3 entry. You like scaled in 2 additional times.
The 2 additional times. That's right. So I'm in by
Okay.
9 contracts across most accounts, which is nearly 1 NQ contract. I need another one of those sick red candles.
Oh my God.
Tom says, I say hold. I agree with you, Tom. I don't have daily drawdowns on any of these accounts. Most of the prop firms that I sign up for don't have daily loss limits, but I do impose a daily loss limit on myself. It's flexible. It's not hard coded into the Trade-Evade accounts, which is something you can do. But I try not to lose more than $1,000 in any one account in a day. I was pretty close to that a moment ago, but now I'm back in profit again. The sellers showed up right on that VWAP line, which is what I was hoping for. We're still in our downtrend. The strength of that downtrend is still really strong, still at 0.90. We just hold from here. So at this point, I could exit this position and only be down 200 across most of my accounts for the day. About 20 more points and I'll be in the profit for the day. And with the way this is forming, this is potentially a very, very good short. We could hold for a lot longer. Thinking about this on the higher time frames here, we had this persistent run up in the overnight session over the last 2 days as well. That move right there is enough to tell me we could see a really big retrace from here. So my confidence is growing that this is an excellent short. This is normally where I'd go grab some coffee, but I'll hang out with you guys. I need an assistant here that just delivers me a double espressos.
I thought you were going to say, I need an assistant that just delivers me the good news once I'm out of a trade. I'll do that. You're good. You're good, sir.
You're good. You're doing really well.
I've always thought,
just come in and tell me I'm doing really well every once in a while.
If you had an assistant that would just, you're just like, Stanzi and I was just like, long, short, exit.
That's all you would say.
Don't touch the keyboard.
Tom, I want to remind you that you told me no trade today, and in a second here, I'm about to be in significant profit. I'm fully expecting sellers to take this trade down from here. All right, that candle right there gives me a little bit of concern. So I'm looking for reversal candles on the 1 minute chart, and that's pretty bullish right there. But I would need to see a little bit higher of a high it's still very possible for buyers to step in and effectively turn my whole trade around. So, and I've been very well accustomed to that since April 9th, just expecting most of my short sells to fall apart. Because again, we are still in a bull market. Even just looking at the daily chart here, we bounced off of the regression trend on the daily chart. This is still a bull trend, so I'm not silly enough to believe that my short's gonna be one of the biggest short sells of all time. Buyers will show up and force me out of my position, but right now the sellers are still here. Oh, Tom, you know me. I don't believe in jinxing or superstitions, so I can say whatever I want and the trade's still going to do what it's going to do. Dollar pushing hard. Okay, that's good news. There's that bullish candle again. So buyers are trying to find support here at 23,306, which is just above the anchored VWAP that I have on the 2-hour chart. I got to pay attention to this. It could mean that we push up just a little bit before we head back down again, but I'm still going to want to manage this. It may mean that I'm still down 400, 500 for the day. But I think I'll stay consistent in terms of just managing this trade. The signal is still to the downside. We're still below VWAP. So I'm going to try to stay in the trade as long as possible. I may actually have to give back all the profit before finding profit again. Tom, how dare you? You can't tell me to stay and hold and follow my rules and then tell me to get out because the day is chop.
He was feeling cocky when there was no chance it was actually going to come to fruition.
Okay, we are now in profit for the day, up about $75 across all the accounts. So we dug ourselves out of the hole. This particular trade is now up $600. Let's see how we respond to this anchored VWAP, and we'll continue to hold from here. Again, most of this game is really just sitting on your hands.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. How dare I make money?
I have to take a shower, and I wasn't even trading. What is going on?
Excuse me. Aventura says you pull over and spank Tom. I told you guys this is going to be a long trip to Yosemite. We're going to be in the car for 6 hours, and Tom's been piping up this whole time.
Tom's most prolific trades have both been shorts. That NQ short went down, 4,000 to 5,000 points the rest of the day.
That's incredible. And again, this is kind of what I hate about prop firm trading, is that many of my greatest trades in futures have been across multiple weeks. I'm more of a swing trader in this market, and you can't do that in prop. At least I can't find a firm that will let you hold that long. I think I didn't have time to read the rules last night. I think Elite Trader Funding does let you do swing trades, in which case I'm so excited about that, because some of my best trades have been 12,000 point moves. 15,000 point moves where I'm holding over 3 to 4 months, and I'm just holding 2 or 3 MNQ contracts that whole period of time. Okay. I still like it to the short side. Buyers just showed up there. Obviously no higher high candle yet.
Dive, Rich. Straight down. Straight down.
I always want one of those flash red candles. Go for it.
Do it.
There's no news though. We're done for the day on news.
Just one pulse.
No big earnings data. Well, I guess AMD is reporting today after the bell. Oh, good. And Novo Nordisk reports today, too. Maybe in that position will finally turn in my favor. Aventura asks if we're there yet. I think you know exactly how I'm going to respond to that question.
I thought we ran out of gas a while ago, but somehow you found a 20. You found a 20 like tucked in the between the seat and the thing.
This is always my favorite part of road trips, though, is everybody deciding how they want to, let the time pass. We'll play some road board games, or, we'll do music selections, or in the case of my family, we would run through the alphabet of naming shit, whatever it is. Like every animal you can think of, starting with A, and then somebody gets B, and then somebody gets C, and so on and so forth. What were your road trip games, Trevor?
Oh gosh, yeah, we do the same sort of thing. A lot of just I Spy, but my fondest memories of road trips were my dad would record James Bond movies onto a camcorder, like through the VCR. So I would have the screen flipped with a 12-pound camcorder sitting on my chest, laying in the back of our Toyota Previa van, and I'd just be watching, Goldfinger or whatever, and it was just like so ghetto, so amazing though. I've seen there's been like a return to giving kids like portable DVD players in the back of the car with DVDs.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, here's what we have. There's no downloading,
internet,
there's no Wi-Fi.
I
can't get a connection. Like it's like here's a book. Go wild.
Go old school. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. There's the sellers. All right, if you can see this on the chart here, I'm up about $400 across all my accounts, if not more. Some of these accounts have larger position sizes, so they're in a lot more profit. For example, my Tradeify account is now up $17.25 in this trade.
What's the profit? Take profit on it?
Soon-ish. I'm going to need to worry about my consistency scores from here. It'd be nice if we went ahead and passed a few accounts here. So if I add another 500 in profit on these Apex accounts, I passed 6 accounts today, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that off on this trade. I think the move is almost done. And mainly because we're about ready to touch weekly VWAP here.
Yeah, don't be dumb.
All right, that was probably it. That bullish candle right there. Nope, maybe not. Let me set my stop right here. And we'll take with a small profit today. I would like to take a little bit more than this off the table, but again, buyers show up at the most ridiculous times sometimes.
The takeaway was the new ISM services report, the new exports, a 3.2 percentage point decrease in July, imports 5.8 point drop. Indexes with both moved from expansion to contraction, provided signals that tariff tensions are impacting global trade.
Okay.
So today that's bearish. Tomorrow, that means that demand is down, so inflation's down, which means cuts are coming. Tomorrow.
Well, we already know cuts are coming. There's like an 86% chance of a cut in September.
Which isn't that typically like a top event?
I mean, rate cuts typically signal a recession. So We'll see if that plays out. That's the buyers. I'm getting out.
Yeah, don't be dumb. That was a miracle.
All right, I'm good with that. We reversed out of the hole. We got out of the debt we were in for the day, if you will, and ended up about 150 across most accounts. On the larger accounts, up 331, up 346. So across the board, we did okay. Made a little bit of profit. I probably could have held that longer, but I really just wanted to dig out of that hole more than anything and call this a profit day rather than a losing day. It could very well continue from here. However, I don't like going back into positions right when I got out. Aventura says, I've seen Mike on stream about 100 times and it hasn't rained once. It just rains when you're not looking. That's all it is. I'm just kidding. It is kind of a weird season for us here. We have had a couple of rainy days so far this summer, but it rains a lot more at the middle of August, September. Man, I really should have held that longer.
I thought he was talking about like, I haven't seen you like make it rain.
Oh, make it rain.
He makes it rain all the time.
No, he made mention like of the fact that it was cloudy last time and it wasn't raining. All right, that's good enough for me. I think we picked up some decent trades. We can take a look at some of the signals that came through so you guys can see those. So this is on the all accounts strategy, basically just trading everything at once. And that last exit there, we'll go through a few of these. Actually, that's right. I had raised the contract size on this new take profit trader account. So this one actually has a signal quantity multiplier of 3. So we actually picked up 1,332 on that trade in that account, 432 on some of these other evals, 669 on this performance account, which I do have a lift for. So I did activate 4 of my Apex accounts. I was hoping to hit the profit target, or excuse me, the profit target on at least 6 of these accounts today. Didn't quite get there on Apex, but I do have 3 performance accounts there with Apex, or 4 performance accounts with Apex that all picked up some decent amount of profit. 1302 in the Tradeify account, 678, blah, 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 blah. So down the line, you can see that basically that signal quantity multiplier just lets me control how much profit I take in each account, depending on where I'm at with it. There's a lot of different reasons for it. One is how far into profit am I on that account? Like for example, on this one, this is a larger 150 account. So I have a lot more drawdown available to me. I'm willing to take a little bit larger of a risk. And as a result, I can get to my profit target a lot faster, which is a $9,000 target rather than a $6,000 target. Well, look at that. So we went straight down to the weekly VWAP, which is kind of where I originally wanted my target at, but I felt like the bulls had showed up on that candle. I should have waited for a candle close there. That was my mistake. And there's some buyers. All right, we didn't do too bad. We got the meat of the move. If that is buyers that signal the end of that little trend there, I would have been able to pick up probably another 400 in profit per account. How many points is that? Yeah, about 400 in profit per account. And that's okay. There's always the next trade. Where'd our music go? Cool. So if you're just now joining or sticking around here to the end, this has been an interesting trading day because we tried to take a short at the beginning of the session and it failed. Then we tried to take a long and that failed. And we were down almost $1,000 across most accounts for the day. But we dug out of that hole and actually got us to profit for most of the accounts in the day. And I think we all agreed this was kind of a weird open, a little choppy. It's looking a lot cleaner now in terms of a signal, but we're already out of the position and there's really no entry signal here now. This is more of an exit signal than an entry signal. So if there's any move to take from here, it would be to the upside. I would start looking to see if this is the formation of an uptrend from here. It looks like it is. It looks like we may break above where I just exited.
I mean, I could have totally seen someone trying to go long after that, thinking that we were going to just buy it right back up. So you going short was pretty good.
It's not too bad. Ah, interesting. And that's why we wait. Starting to pull back again. So just be a continuation of this downtrend. Failed reversal there. Okay, maybe I should have prepared my scalping opportunity here. So, oops, that's the wrong one. Don't want to do a buy. It's possible that we could break this VWAP line here, although the buyers are stepping back in again. I like these little scalp moves when the ATR is low enough. It's not quite low enough for me here, but there could be an opportunity to try to pick up 15 points if we break this support line. We're not quite there yet. The buyers keep showing up.
Boom, 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 boom.
There it is again. All right, so we already had one failed attempt to reverse out of this trend. Buyers are trying to do it again. I think the one trade I'm trying to set up for right now is to see if I can take 15 more points off the table in a quick scalp trade. Assuming that we continue to break down from here, I can get 15 points really quickly. Tom says to tell me to stop. Do you think I should stop trading from here? One more scalp?
I think so. I think you're good. I think you got out of that miraculously.
If I watch 15 points fall from here and you guys told me not to take this trade, the whole stream is going to be mad at you guys. And we're halfway through the trade already. Well, now I have to stop because I missed the move. Well, we kind of saw this going either way today, but I do see if we continue to the downside for the day, I'm still thinking that 23,200 is the support zone. Which is all the way down here.
Oh, God. Oh, the humanity.
All right, there it was. That was my scalp, Tom. I hate you so much. I could have taken that. I hate you,
I
Trevor.
don't like doing scalps when I should have just been holding the entire time. When I'm like, oh, I just do like a little bit more. Then that's I'm like,
I think that's what I like.
$20
scalps.
more, and I'll be $200, and then
you gotta look for these areas where you see continuation of the trend, and there's clearly a breakdown of it, right? So we saw that on this red candle right here, and it doesn't take much, right? We're not trying to go for a huge 100 or 200 point move. We need 15 points. That's all we're going for. And so we broke down below that candle right there, right at 23,257. And all it takes is this, and we would have been in and out of that trade. The nice thing about it is it has a take profit connected to it with the bracket order, and I know it's going to get executed with the broker. I don't have to worry about slippage with the lines or anything like that. Aventura says his automated strategy took a short at 23,328. 328. Oh, my friend, you took a great trade. We were on the same path there. Holy cow, you were almost at my break-even point. You took it at the same place I did. If you guys remember, my break-even point was between these two lines, the green and the red line here. So you were almost at exactly the same point. Are you still in that trade, Aventura? Tom says, friends don't let friends trade drunk on FOMO. I don't know if I was drunk on FOMO. I was looking at that breakdown off of
FOMO would have been relonging the bounce. I could have totally been like, we're gonna close the gap, just long again.
But then again, if Tom's the officer and he just pulled me over, anybody who's drunk is gonna say, I haven't been drinking at all today, officer.
That's awesome.
All right. I think that's it for today. I should still be in this short, and I'm not. I should have taken that scalp, and I didn't. That's enough for me to say that I'm not executing very well from here. I should have just ignored you all, and continued to drive to Yosemite. And I don't know if we're going to even get there today. So took some small profits today, and we'll see if we can get to a payout on any of these Tradeify accounts coming up soon. I have several more that need to get to 150 or 156. Sorry, 159. So I need to get those up quite a bit. But I do have these smaller Tradeify accounts that are, roughly 50, 55, 60% of the way to goal.
Crazy. Machine.
All right, so Tom says it's the dollar chop that's got him. Let's settle this for a second here. I'm actually very curious about the 1 minute correlation between the dollar and NQ. Let's take a look at this. Pull this chart up. Change this to Dixie. All right, so this is a correlation coefficient chart. Let me change this to white so everybody can see this very well. And just like all other correlations, this one also vacillates between correlated and uncorrelated. Anytime that I see stationarity like this, where it's constantly chopping back and forth, or there's even smooth signals between correlated, which then moves to uncorrelated, it is interesting to see what happens when it's highly correlated. So if the dollar moves up, NQ is moving up with it. When it reaches this stage, I expect that there's reversion to the mean from here. And indeed, it did start to move in the opposite direction, meaning that they were highly correlated earlier this morning and from yesterday's session. And then they started to reach a peak and start to move back down. So the dollar chop is only relevant insofar that we were uncorrelated before. So I would have been more concerned about the dollar in this stage right here, where it starts to move more towards correlated. But once we're fully correlated, then I would expect it to move the opposite direction. So any signal we're getting from the dollar at that point is less relevant in my mind. Debate me on that one, Tom. See what your thoughts are on the correlation stationarity between the dollar and NASDAQ through an intraday session.
He can't not be on the show and then be like pinging in on chat.
Yeah.
Now
what he's gonna do is print this huge, like, long thesis on the relationship between NASDAQ and dollar.
If you want to argue, you have to be on camera. That's the deal.
Say again.
I said, if you want to argue, you have to be on camera.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. If you want the right to argue, you got to be on camera.
Show yourself.
All right, we'll keep the dollar over here, and we'll keep having this correlation conversation because it is fun. I mean, in general, correlation is a tough thing to try to measure visually. I would really want to measure the statistical correlation over time, over long periods of time, to understand how much of that shows up intraday, especially since we're trading, more often than not, my positions last maybe 15 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. So we're looking to basically take chunks of data from the intraday session to determine if trends that are found in the middle of the session are highly anti-correlated or correlated to the dollar, such that we should really be watching that indicator. Because in my mind, the position I'm taking on the dollar in general or any other instrument that should tell us where we think the market's going to go over a longer period of time are irrelevant. The price action is the only story I'm listening to when it comes to NASDAQ. As I'm watching this unfold, price is telling us the story, and that already has the dollar baked into it, tariffs baked into it, earnings baked into it. All the efficient market hypothesis concept shows up there where everything is already priced in. So if price action is coming down, there's a reason that price action is heading that direction. Good Lord. We could have taken this all the way to S2. Well, it's never fun watching the chart go the direction you were already in and not making money on it. Sorry about that, stream. I should have held a lot longer than this.
Do you think that if you were less heavy, you would have potentially held longer?
No, I would have held that longer because it would have been well under the best day scores for most of my accounts. That's okay. I'll take the profit for the day. We'll wait for the next setup. From here, I don't know where buyers are going to show up, but I would normally just take a break from here, grab some coffee, go get ready for the day, maybe take a run, and then wait to see if some support starts to show up and we reverse into some kind of a bullish trend from here. Try to take the opposite side, maybe pick up a little bit more for the day, and give it a try for the next. Although I might be out for the rest of the day. We'll see. Either way, we're still making money. We're still getting payouts. We're still passing evals. We'll keep showing up every day. We got 3 more shows for the rest of the week. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks, Aventura, for showing up as much as you can. I know you're always on the job when you do this. And hopefully next time we do a stream, there might be some rain. Let's see. Denver weather. God.
This drop.
Nothing. We got cloudy tomorrow. We got cloudy Thursday. 99, 98. It is warm and it is sunny for the next several days. We do have some rain on Sunday, some light rain, which will hit pockets of this area. And so maybe that's the problem. We often sometimes have weekend rain. So it just doesn't correlate to the markets. Holy cow. Look at that.
Look away. Shut your chart and go do something else.
That's beautiful. Look at that candle. On the daily chart, not so big. On the intraday chart, this is Mike saying, I told you, Trevor. I told you, Tom. Why didn't you let me scalp?
I was just not trying to talk in your backswing. I didn't want to get in your head.
I'm just kidding around. I was a little iffy on that scalp as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think that's it from here. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. We'll trade the open again. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see if we can get some more accounts passed. Cheers, everyone.